Okay, so we are streaming. It's been a while since I've streamed, guys. Um, right now, I've been working on a mod pack. Previously, it was just called Tag Core, and we figured out everything we wanted in the core. And so now we're moving on to basically a survival uh, mod pack, which has a bunch of other stuff. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and hop into the server here. Nobody else is on. I just started the server up. Everything's going to be clean and brand new. Um, Not sure where we're going to spawn. One thing that I am going to do as soon as I spawn in is I'm going to go ahead and teleport myself away so that I am not near spawn, because I kind of want spawn to stay clean. So let me go ahead and open up my inventory. There you go. See, I just got the achievement for taking inventory. Let me go ahead and change my map options here real quick. I do want my coordinates. I do not like circular mode. That's just me. Okay. So let's see. We are kind of just here. I'm going to go over the mod list here in a moment so that you guys will know what we're working with here. Just kind of letting it spawn in, spawn here basically, build the chunks and everything. And then I am going to just teleport myself away. I don't really see, it's just this big giant forest here. At some point we may go ahead and put in a like a nexus here or something. You can see here that we are running on Minecraft 1.7.10. Let's see, I'm going to check. Okay, so just checking my brightness settings here, because for some reason lately I've been having some trouble with that, so I wanted to go ahead and increase the gamma there. Okay, so at this point here we are going to teleport. Not exactly randomly, but obviously I don't know where I'm going to go. So we're just going to teleport myself, because I'm the only one on, of course. And we're going to go 10,000 blocks. Not changing anything on the Y. And we're going to go 10,000 blocks on the Z as well. So we're going to be pretty far out from spawn. So here we go. Let me go ahead and hop in here as the world loads around me. We have no idea where we are. Just randomly, could be in the water. Okay, there we are. Okay, stop falling. Looks like I'm stuck on a leaf here. See if I can get off of it. There we go. Okay. And, whoa, I can see that we have a dungeon under the water there. I guess I'm kind of lucky that I didn't appear directly up on top of there. Though I might have been able to make the jump into the water. Okay, so we are, let me show you here. We are a long way from spawn. Okay, so there's spawn. We went 10,000 out and 10,000 out. Ooh, I got some extreme hills. Is that what I saw there? Oh, it doesn't really matter. Okay, let me go ahead and close this. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to look around here a little bit. I have no idea what time of day it is, but I better find some place to spend the night, because this is a very dangerous world. I realize things are going to be a little bit laggy at the moment because I'm still, the world is still loading in. Let's go ahead and get some wood here. And, okay, there we go, getting wood. Okay, so I'll start with some of the basic mods here. I wrote them down in alphabetical order because that's, the easiest way to make a list. But obviously alphabetical order isn't going to be the easiest way for me to explain. Now, you'll notice there that those leaves just kind of decayed really quick. That's because we have fast leaf decay. You'll see here there's a leafy garden we've got Pam's Harvest Craft in. So I'm not really very experienced with Pam's Harvest Craft, so that's one that I'll be learning as we go. Let's see, we have Bibliocraft installed. I didn't install any of the additions for it because I think just the standard Bibliocraft stuff will be enough to give us all the pretty blocks that we want. Okay, there goes our fast leaf decay, very nice. I don't know if you can see, ooh, I see some cotton over there. I gotta get over there. You'll also see some Botania plants because we have Botania in. I better get over here. Number one, it'll fill in that hole right there. But I'm going to need food. Oh, nice, some sugar cane. And I'm definitely going to need that cotton because I need to make a bed. Without a bed, I'm going to end up dying and ending up back at spawn. And that won't be good because then I'll have to teleport myself back out here. Yeah, you can see there's this lovely dungeon here. That's going to be rough. But, we'll figure it out. So, I'm at least going to have some food. I can make a couple pieces of string. Let's see if I can find... Alright, come on, hurry up and build the chunks. There's... right now, we are sitting at almost 100 mods in the game, which is a lot. I don't normally try to run that many. Oh, hey, look, it's a hobgoblin. And you're from Witchery, because, yes, we have Witchery. Oh, sheep, excellent. Okay, I need to build something to kill some sheep with. So, there we go. There's our benchmarking. Oops. I almost feel nervous right now because I know how dangerous this world is. The first thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to build a sword. You can use regular swords. However, we do have Tinker's Construct in, and with that we have Tinker's Iguana Tweaks, which means, come here, give me your wool. Ooh, I got some raw mutton. But anyway, so there are no vanilla tools available. You can use vanilla swords, that's it. There are uses for vanilla tools, but only in crafting. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Okay. We'll be able to make it through the night. 3 planks and 3 pieces of wool. I'm very, very happy that I was able to get that. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to find some flint, because we need to make some tools. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through some of the mods here. From here on, I'll just kind of go alphabetical to make it a lot easier. Ooh, nice. Well, you can see we've got Thalmcraft, because that's a silverwood tree. Okay, starting from the top alphabetically. We have another one, Bites the Dust, which is an add-on for Tinker's Construct. Nice greatwood tree, which allows you to turn... Oh, hello. Welcome to the broadcast. Yeah, I've returned. I know it's been a while. Ooh, I better get off the ground here. So I was just kind of going over the mod list because it's been a while since I've streamed and since I've really worked on anything publicly, and part of that is because I've been building this mod pack, and so I'll go ahead, and I was just getting started. So welcome to the broadcast, and I'm going to keep going over the list. So I just mentioned another one, Bites the Dust, which is an add-on for Tinker's Construct, which allows you to turn Ardite and Cobalt into dusts, so that you can use them in other mods machines. So we do have some machines, and so I previously mentioned Bibliocraft for the pretty blocks and all that. Let's see, we've got Botania in, we've got Benny's Mods, which is basically an add-on for forestry. So we do have forestry. That's part of the core mod pack that we have. and that's because you know, you need some kind of low-level machineries. I like the backpacks, I like the trees, and some of that stuff. It just kind of rounds out the world. Um, so we've got chicken chunks, of course, so that we can have chunk loaders. We've got a death counter so we can keep track of how many times everyone dies. I probably ought to just go and make all this flint. And I'm going to need to get some more trees here. So after death counter, we have dense ores, which is by R.W. Tema. He also makes the Extra Utilities mod. And basically what it does is it provides dense versions of ores, kind of like built-in fortune on ores. So it's kind of a nice nice utility to have in there. Um, we've got a lot of things to make the world dangerous. Uh, one of those is Dungeon Pack, which adds in some extra hard like dungeons that are generated in the world. We've got Ender Storage, which allows us to have Ender tanks and better Ender chests and that kind of thing. Let's see, I better make some more of these. And another set of these. Let's see, we've got Ender Zoo. Ender Zoo is a mod pack, or it's a mod that adds in extra like creatures from the end, basically. It adds in like mini Endermen, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I need to read one of these books so I can get that achievement. Okay. And along with that, we've also got Ender IO. They're both made by the same mod author, and I do have permission to include Hardcore Ender expansion as well. So we've got a lot of extra things to spice up the end game, particularly harder Endermen, definitely more challenging, which is one of the things that I was really looking forward to in putting this mod pack together. I did mention extra utilities from R.W. Tema, and then we've got extra Tinker's Construct, which adds in some extra things for Tinker's Construct with working with some of the other mods, particularly with some of their metals and such, so that you can use the smeltery for that. Let me finish getting this stuff here built. Part builder, and let me get a chest here. So hopefully you can hear everything okay there. You haven't mentioned anything, so hopefully the audio's doing all right. I did do a quick test to make sure that everything was working, and it seemed to be. Okay, so I mentioned fast leaf decay. How have I been? It's been kind of rough lately with some medical issues, but things are hopefully getting better. Honestly, I just had basically a spinal tap a couple of days ago because I've got some problems with my back, and hopefully things will work out. Um, So Tinker's Construct is one of my favorites because I like being able to build things and upgrade them, and that's why we put in Iguana's Tinker Tweaks. That's why, like if I show you here, let me get a few more sticks here. So if I were to go and build, let's say, a wooden shovel, okay, it says it cannot mine anything. It can only be used for crafting. So I can't use vanilla tools. I have to make Tinker's Construct tools. And that is exactly the first thing I'm working to get right now. So one of the first things I'm going to want is probably a hatchet to get some parts, and we'll need a pickaxe and a shovel. Now I don't really have to make the tool rod pattern, but I usually do because eventually I'll expand it to make you know, metal tool rods and stuff. So right now all I've got is some flint. So we are going to make a flint pickaxe head, and then we're going to make a flint shovel head, and then we're going to make the flint axe head. Okay, so I've got some sticks here. I'm also going to need a piece of string. And the reason for that is going to be for my pickaxe. So let me show you how we're going to put this together. With our pickaxe, we have obviously our flint head. We can use this for the tool rod. And then if we use a piece of string, we can bind it all together. So we now have a flint pickaxe. It can only mine up to stone until I level it up. So also we're going to need to get a shovel made out of flint and a hatchet also made out of flint. So now one of the things I need to do is I need to make sure I've got plenty of flint because I have to repair them. And so it's going to be very important that I have flint with me, especially until I start getting them leveled up. Okay. Let's go ahead and start clearing out some more area here. Get some more wood, and then eventually I'll get down and start making some charcoal. Oh, good. I left the those cotton plants growing over there so that I can get some more cotton. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to find any sheep to get the wool. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep moving on for the mod list. I believe I mentioned factorization, so that there gives us some technology, some of our first real like machinery type things. It's got some nice low-tech machinery, which I like, and so it's also got the big barrels that you can put in. Unfortunately, the barrel upgrade system is not currently working, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for storage, but that's not really a big deal. You know, I should probably go ahead and make a hoe so that I can start planting. Let's see, where do we want to do this? Probably just right over here. And then, yeah, I'll get back to the list here. I've been trying to find a good mod that allows you to modify the time system, and that's been really difficult for me. I found a couple that allowed us to modify the daytime structure, but none of them that really worked well, I suppose. Okay, so after factorization, fast leaf decay, we got flat signs, because one of the other guys, Dexter, he wanted to be able to use the flat sign. So I was like, okay, no problem. Because this is built for a group. This server is going to be available pretty much to the public so that anyone can come and play with us. If it gets to be a problem, I'll probably have to whitelist the server, but that's not really a problem. One of the things is I definitely want to be able to play with, you know, my friends and my viewers and all that. So I've spent the last month and a half really working to get this mod pack built to a point that I'm happy to release it. I think it really kind of provides the experience that I'm looking for, which was primarily a harder kind of vanilla experience, which is where the tag core, tag is Team Apocalypse Gamers, where that core mod pack came into existence. I don't need to carry those. I'll eat something though. Okay, so we've also got Forge multi-part so that we can do, you know, the small building type stuff to allow us oh, well, thank you. Let's see, building with slabs in Tinker's Construct. I believe that was mostly something that was added by a mod called Ex Nihilo, I believe it was, to allow you to make cheaper, like, furnaces and stuff. Uh-oh. Really? Did it get dark that fast? Oh, what am I doing? I've got this. Did I leave my bed back here? I guess I didn't realize how dark it was because I've got my my gamma turned up. Great. This may be a long night. I'm gonna have to turn my gamma back down because I didn't realize how dark it was. Whoa! Okay, if you just heard that explosion, that would be an Ender Mini taking out creepers. Ender Minis attack creepers. So I better turn my gamma down a bit here. Make sure it's actually safe. So what I did was I installed something called Gamma Bright, which is a light loader mod. I guess I'll keep it off until I actually get into a place where I need the extra gamma to be able to see better. Okay, so moving on, we've got Gendustry, which is genetic manipulation, primarily for bees. Because we do have forestry, so that means we have bees in the mod pack. And I need to get some more of this flint out of here. So I'm going to replace it with dirt. Let's see, after Gendustry, we've got, I mentioned Hardcore Ender Expansion, which I did get permission to redistribute in the mod pack. So I wanted to thank Chilex for that. He's the mod author. Whoa, creeper. He gave me permission to add it in for a public release, which is very nice of him. Come on. Turn off my global lights there. There we go. Okay, first creeper down. The first of many. Okay, and I mentioned we've got Pam's Harvest Craft. I know there's a lot of people out there that really like the extra food options that she throws in with that, so we went ahead and we included that. Because with making a publicly released mod pack, I felt it was really, really important to make sure that we have things that will appeal to a lot of different players and their play styles. And so there are a lot of people who like to grow lots of different kinds of food. There are people who like to do bees, people who like to breed trees, all kinds of things like that. And so Pam's Harvest Craft just kind of felt like it should be here. Let's see, I probably ought to go ahead and start expanding the sugarcane here. Okay, let's see. I did previously mention Iguana Tinker's Tweaks, which is why I can't just use vanilla tools, but it does provide automatic leveling as you gain experience with your tools. And so it's kind of like free upgrades for Tinker's Construct tools, which is really kind of a nice thing to be able to have it work that way. Sometimes you get good upgrades, and sometimes you don't get the ones that you really want. Let's see, inventory tweaks. That's included in the pack for better inventory management. It's pretty much a standard when you're dealing with mods that provide lots of different things that you're going to need to keep organized. Oh, and my flint tool here just broke. So, because of the way the Iguana Tinker's Tweaks works, you no longer get flint from gravel digging it. You have to actually take 3 gravel and turn it into a single piece of flint. So there are a few other ways to get gravel, but they're basically as a mob drop, and we'll get into that. Let's see. Iron chests, because you know, vanilla chests are never big enough, and so we've got iron chests, which allows that to be expanded and get a lot more storage space. Magic bees. I'm not sure if you saw when I got the, or when I showed the Thaumcraft Silverwood tree, but obviously there is a Great Wood tree from Thaumcraft, and so we've got the magic bees to go along with forestry on that. Technology, we've got Mechanism by Aiden C. Brady. I've been really wanting to play more with this mod. It's it's really got a lot of nice technology type stuff, and so we've got that one in the pack. Obviously, you can see here with the cotton, we've got Natura by M. So that gives us kind of some easier early food options, some string, things like that, so that hopefully it makes it a little bit easier to survive. We've got NEI, not enough items, along with several additions for that. NEI add-ons and integration, Thaumcraft NEI plugin. We've got Obsidiplates, which is one that I really like. It allows you to make obsidian pressure plates that can only be activated by players. You can shroud them, you can make them silent. It's got some really nice options there. We've got open blocks, so that one will give us a lot of other options as we go for... I think of open blocks as kind of a low-tech mod. It's got some things that are definitely technology, but nothing like a Buildcraft or an IC2 that just changes and adds so much to the game. But it's got a lot of nice, useful stuff. We've got roguelike dungeons, which if you look down over here, you'll see that there is... That's a dungeon right there, right next to my house. Well, not necessarily my house, but right next to where I'm currently trying to build a house. Let's see, probably ought to go ahead and harvest this. Oh, I only got one seed back? Oh, there it is. Okay. And roguelike dungeons is in here because, you know, vanilla just needs to be a little bit harder. There needs to be more adventuring. There are a lot of people who don't want to go and build a farm. They don't want to go and build machinery and stuff like that. And so with things like Dungeon Pack and roguelike dungeons, people can go out and they can explore and they can, you know, find loot and food and treasure and stuff like that, and kind of really feel, you know, get that adventure feel. And hey, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So let me get a little bit more cobble here so I can make a furnace so that I can cook up some bread. Okay, let's go and grab this. So one of the nice things with Natura, it allows you to turn barley and wheat into flour. And you know what? I probably ought to make a couple of sticks here because I don't want anyone to scream at me for being inefficient. And then we'll go and we'll get some bread cooking up. Okay, so special mobs. In previous version of our testing, we had another Father Toast mod. It was Infernal Mobs, I believe. And Infernal Mobs gives you basically, it takes regular Minecraft mobs and gives them special abilities. We pulled that out because it was making the Ender Dragon and the Wither have special abilities, like regen health after you killed them. Basically, they'd get like an extra life. They had all these special abilities that was basically just making it extremely, extremely difficult to kill the Wither and the Ender Dragon. So we switched over to special mobs, which seems to be working a little bit better in that aspect. So I mentioned Thaumcraft. We've got the Thaumcraft mob aspects and the NEI plugin. We've also got Thaumic Horizons and Thaumic Tinkerer to add in significantly more content to Thaumcraft and kind of expand it. It just seems like Thaumcraft is such a great and popular mod, and a lot of people have added extra content to it, that we felt like it would be a good idea to go ahead and include some of that. 1, 2, 3, okay, good. And so we are getting down towards the bottom of the list here. Let's see, after the Thaumcraft stuff, we've got the Tinker's Construct, Tinker's Mech Works, as well as Tinker's Steel Works. So we've got a lot of different ways to manipulate ore and kind of make things with the tools and processing our ores and stuff like that. We've also got traveler's gear. Traveler's gear is something that goes in with R.W. Tema's, or I'm sorry, Azanor's baubles. Baubles is something that he came up with that adds some extra slots here. Primarily, the initial usage was with Thaumcraft. You can make baubles, rings, necklaces, things like that. Well, with Traveler's Gear, it adds on to that, and it provides additional slots as well as access to all of the baubles slots and all of the Tinker's Construct slots and your regular inventory, and gives you some more information here about like what your V discount is depending on what you're wearing, things like that. So, oh, darn it, I should have brought my bed. Why did I not bring my bed over here? Well, at least I can see that it's definitely getting dark now. So let's go ahead and sleep here, and then this time I'm going to move my bed because I don't think it's in a very safe place. So after Traveler's Gear, we've got Twilight Forest because, you know, we want some other places to go besides just the overworld. Of course, we also have the Deep Dark, which is added by extra utilities. So we've got a couple of extra places that we can go to explore. We've got what am I looking at and what are we looking at, which provide extra information here as far as when you're dealing with whether or not you can dig things up or things like that. And then we've got Witchery. So we've got a couple of tech mods, we've got a couple of magic mods, and then we've got Witching Gadgets, which also is an expansion to Thaumcraft. And then finally we've got Zombie Awareness. And that's why I'm making sure to sleep through the night, because if I'm not careful, I will get swarmed by more zombies than I can possibly ever hope to kill. So with all of those things together, oh, you know what? I forgot. So with the world being so difficult and deadly, how are you supposed to survive? Well, we've also got a mod in here called Utility Mobs. And Utility Mobs allows you to make all different kinds of golems as well as turrets to help you defend your base. So, oh, I even missed colorful portals. Somehow I didn't get that one down on my list, but I know it's in here. Colorful portals, think of making ender portals, but you control where they go. They can be cross-dimensional or not. And you make them out of different colored clay or wool or stained glass. Ooh. That is where blazes live. What? Oh, I thought I had regular clouds turned off. Let me change that real quick. Clouds off. So there's no reason to have both sets of clouds because Natura builds physical clouds. Wow, there's really two floating slime islands that close together. This is going to be a really good location, I think. Anyway, so that's the basics for all the mods that are in. Now it's time for me to really get started on building. So